It's 2:35 p.m. I took a microdose at 1:50 p.m. I woke up this morning around 7 a.m. and I've been thinking a lot about the vasectomy that I have scheduled next week. And it's like, whoa, like it's becoming a lot more real. But also I don't have that much money right now. And then like if I were to get this vasectomy, I'd have to take 4 days off of work, which I guess I could afford, but it would set me back. I feel like it would ruin some creative momentum that I possess. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build. I think about there's a martial artist named Hickson Gracie, and motherfucker's a fucking monster, man. And when he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, he was talking about jujitsu, and he was saying that, let's say when you first start off, you're at zero, right? Like you don't have an advantage over the person, they don't have an advantage over you. But let's say you make a move, and then you have just a little bit of advantage. You go from 0 to 1. And logically, this makes sense if you don't train martial arts, but it's more hairy when you do train martial arts and you understand that it's not easy just to be like, okay, so I'm gonna go from 1 to 2 now, and 2 to 3, and I'm not gonna go back down to 1 or 0. That's happening all the time in jiu-jitsu. Like you're constantly having to like reset, and depends who you're going with, of course. But that's how I feel right now. Like I want to go. I don't want to go back down. Like I'm trying to build. I'm trying to keep what I have and trying to build upon that. And at the same time, man, like I feel like my family has really made me feel ashamed of myself. Just really shameful to be who it is that I am. Just questioning my decisions and making it seem like something's wrong with me. There's something wrong with how I think. There's something wrong with how I move on this planet. Everything is like, it's always adverse. It's never like, oh, dude, that's like so sick. Like, that's fucking great. Like, that's incredible that you did that. Like, kudos to you. Like, there's never like any kind of like support in that way. I'm always met with judgment. But, it's hard. It's hard emotionally to process that. Logically, I know that that's all they're doing to themselves and it's actually nothing personal. All they do to themselves is say that's wrong, this isn't right, this is blah 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 to themselves with their own life. The only thing they're doing is projecting their way of being upon me. And so it's nothing personal. They can't help but do that to me because that's all they're doing all of the fucking time to themselves. But still, I haven't been in a environment that's really supportive to who it is that I am. And to tell you the truth, I felt like for a while there I've given up on love. But you know what's helped me out a lot? I reflect a lot upon the relationship, the friendship that I had with my former business partner. I mean, bro, what a beautiful relationship. Beautiful relationship. Very beautiful. We helped each other grow. I respected how they thought. They respected how I thought. We were complementary to each other. We helped each other grow so much. We were there for each other, man. Still are, just on a lesser extent. We're not in close proximity anymore.
But a very beautiful relationship, bro. And I feel like my former business partner really set like the standard when it comes to like what I look for in a woman.
Not just a woman. What I look for in a relationship. Because let me tell you, bro. I have grown to great heights because of her. Who I've become, I would not be who I am without them. And vice versa. You know, they wouldn't be who they are without me either. We were complementary to each other's lives. And yeah, man, like where I'm at in my life, there's a great book that was recommended to me. It's called The Amazing Development of Men. And it talks about like where men are at in different times of their life. And where it is that I'm at in my life. So they break it down into different categories. I think the first one is a page. The second one is a knight. And then after that, it's like early prince, middle prince, late prince, and then there's king. And a knight is... So a page is basically a boy between maybe the ages of like 3 and 5. And this is someone who just basically wants to be a knight. And what a knight is they are very adventurous. They're called to adventure. And they prioritize fun, not necessarily responsibility, but like fun is like really big for them. And the stage after that is prince, early prince, middle prince, late prince. But like the theme about princes is like you'll typically start entering like your prince phase maybe around like late 20s according to the book, and I relate to this 100%. And like what a prince is thinking is less about fun, but it's more about like building. And a prince also during this time looks for a partner, but like a prince will stay in like a prince phase for like 10-12 years, and that's when like a prince is like really like figuring out, okay, where are they at in this world, like where are they gonna really double down on, what's like really important for them, what kind of corner are they gonna like situate themselves in the world. That's like early prince. And then mid prince is like, okay, you have an idea in terms of what it is that you want, and now you're just going all in on that. And that's like a phase, not a phase, it's like a time in life that's like between 10 to 12 years. And that's where I feel like I'm at. I feel like I'm like mid prince, early to mid prince, where it's, yeah, fun is cool, but like I prefer, like, to me what's really fun is doing this YouTube. What's really fun is giving my all into my creative projects, right? I'm writing my second book right now. And like I think about how cool it would be. Like I saw this book recently that on the inside of the cover it was like, oh, also the author of boom, and it was like 8 books. And I thought that was the coolest fucking thing, dude. That was so cool. Like, damn, bro, like you wrote all of those books. And for me, like I want to write more books. I want to like that's the corner that I want to occupy myself in. I was watching this podcast last night with Jerry Seinfeld and Neil Brennan. It's a great podcast. It's called Blocks. And Jerry Seinfeld was talking about writing and then bringing those jokes on stage, having those jokes come to life. But when I woke up this morning at like 7 a.m., I was like, the difference between stand up and what I want to do is like they take their words and then they bring them to life, right? Physically through their communication, how they speak. But it's like I want my words not to take the physical embodiment of me, but to take the physical embodiment of themselves. Like not me writing to bring something to life. I've also been watching these videos on YouTube of Breaking Bad when they're like doing table reads and stuff like that, which is really cool. I'm glad they documented all that. And the writing in there where they're explaining the scene, like that's an example of bringing writing to life. And that doesn't really interest me. I'm gonna be hanging out with my friend here. We're gonna be doing some videos, and he's writing stuff for our videos. But like, I'm not interested in writing to bring it to film. Like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then okay, this is how it's gonna tie to that. I don't like that. I like writing for the sake of writing. I like having that be the end all be all, which is just the written word. And you know, that's where I'm at. And I'm like, dude, just because my family has made me feel a certain way, man, I don't think I should give up on love just because of my family. And I don't think I shouldn't have kids out of spite to my family. You know, I think that's a horrible decision. I just think where I'm at right now, I think there's just more for me to feel that I feel like I have to do. There's a lot more building that I want to do. I don't want to use the word have. There's a lot more building that I want to do in my life. Where having a child, yeah, like I would have so much fucking like resentment. I feel like I would be so angry at myself, and I would be angry with this child. And I just felt like, damn, bro, like I just cut my potential in half because I don't have as much time to dedicate to the things that are important for me. Especially because, look, bro, I'm at my parents' house right now. I don't have much financial control over my present. So, duh, like where I'm at right now, I don't want kids because it would not be a good situation. It wouldn't be, because I wouldn't be able to give my child the education that I would want to give my child. I have a lot more building that I want to do. A lot more building. So I messaged my manager this morning and I said, hey, I'm gonna cancel my time off request. There's a lot more money I need to make. So then I was thinking, like, this morning, I'm like, because it's cool, I make money in tips. I made like 68 bucks in the last 2 days on tips, which is dope. And there's like an anxiety that comes with that. It's like, oh, I feel like I should spend it on something. All right, I'm like, oh, should I spend it on more books? Should I spend it on ads? And there's like this pressure to spend it on something. And then today I was like, maybe I should like spend it on like photography for like online dating. Where I stand right now, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. If I were to go that route in terms of like online dating, I think what I would do is I don't want to take like photos where it looks like it's candid and everything's all planned out, and like I have to pose and make it seem look a certain way, and then I don't want to do that. I would want to just go about my life and just think about what are some a few key highlights about my life. Where it's like, well, I kind of work at a pretty cool place, nice place. It's like, well, let's just get a picture of me working at my job. And then it's like, oh, I like jujitsu. Like, let me just get a photo while I'm training jujitsu. Like, I'm gonna be doing some film work with my friend. Let me get some pictures of us doing some film work together. Comedy club, on Mondays when I'm gonna be passing out my book, like, let me get some photos of me at the restaurant that this comedy club is like hosted at. But like, have it be like real, genuine, authentic snapshots of my life. How I feel right now about that, I'm not sure. I think like how I'm feeling right now in this moment is I really just want to give my all into my creativity. I mean, I'm writing my second book right now, and man, I'm making just a tremendous amount of motherfucking progress, bro. I mean, I had a previous client of mine who reached out to me and just said, like, they watch all my videos and they really enjoy it, and that was really cool. And then they had like offered to like help me out in some way. What they did was they're looking to help me out because like they saw that I had signed up for Active Campaign and Lead Pages, and they're like, hey man, like don't sign up for those things. Like, we can probably get you like a landing page for free, save you on cost. And I was like, well, it's like we already passed that bridge. Like, I don't want to go backwards. And it's like, all right, I got my page set up, and then now let's put more effort and energy into this. Even if it's gonna be free, even if they're gonna help me out with the tech stuff, it's like, bro, what's done is done. And that, like, I guess stuck with me because I'm like, all right, I got a lot of stuff that I want transcribed, videos and like podcasts that I want transcribed for my book. And I'm like, well, he said that he's like into tech, and he's willing to save me on costs. And it's like, well, for one video that I wanted transcribed with rev.com, it was like $75. But I was so willing to pay it because Rev does a fucking phenomenal job of transcription. And I reached out to him. I'm like, look, I'm willing to pay this. I don't want to go in and when I'm going looking through the transcription and I have to remove filler words and I have to correct words, because that just creates more work for me. I like Rev because it's smooth and it's easy. And he's like, look man, here, I'll figure something out. He puts together a fucking AI program, bro, and takes him a couple hours, but gets my fucking shit transcribed, dog. And I've sent, I think, 3 videos to him so far to get transcribed in the podcast. Transcribed them all. So if you follow my Instagram and you see my stories, like last week I had like 72 pages or something like that, 73 pages written of my second book. And it's like 7 days later, or even less than 7 days later, it's like I'm sitting at 117 pages right now of my second book. And I think to like the casual person or people who just like watch those stories, they're like, how the fuck he is making fucking progress like a motherfucker. And you know what? I actually post those on purpose, not as a brag whatsoever, but because there was somebody who I still follow them. It's a woman, and she mostly talks to women, but her name is Florence Given on Instagram, and like most of her page is like pink, and she's from the UK, and she's just herself, and she is publishing her second book, and she just posts about it, And to me, that was just so inspiring. It was so great just to see her working on her illustrations for her second book, and like her just be so passionate about her art. And I'm like, damn, bro, like that makes me want to get back into writing, because I took a little hiatus from writing my second book. She reminded me like, hey, I'm in a position where I can work on my second book, and I want to serve as an inspiration for others as well by me posting my progress. In terms of right now, I posted 46 videos on YouTube in the last 6 weeks, and just talking about the things that I'm doing creatively, and just talking about like the progress that I'm making, and showing like, yo, I'm writing a book. Because like not many people know authors, and I'm sure there's people out there who would like to write a book, and I know there's people who watch those stories and are just like, you know, maybe feeling down or not feeling like their best because they see me making progress. And I'm sure there's people who watch that with like total hate and are rooting against me, and that's totally fine. But I actually haven't even thought about people like who are thinking like that whatsoever during this entire process. I just think about, there's someone out there who is just like me, who is seeing those stories, and they're like, damn, man, he's fucking, look at what he's doing. And I'm inspiring somebody who I don't even know who I'm inspiring. There's people who are watching who I don't know who's really paying attention, who I might be inspiring them to take action in their own way. It could be writing their own book, which would be delightful for me. I mean, but like, I like writing books. I enjoy that. That is my thing. That is just my creative like outlet for freedom, which is so bizarre to me because I never thought that being an author was the direction my life would take. But writing was always something I was just naturally gifted at. I think about my senior year in English class. I remember just like enjoying that class so much because I remember feeling that I was good at this. I was good at writing essays. And I remember in my college English class as well, that was like mostly about like essays and all that kind of stuff, bro. Got a motherfucking A, fucking crushed it, man. I remember getting my motherfucking essays back, like a 5-page, 7-page essay. I remember seeing an A on that shit, bro, and I have so much pride around that, man. And I remember when I saw my fucking grade for that class and I saw that there was an A on that shit, I was so proud. I was so proud because I also really liked my professor too. She was dope. And I feel like she also really appreciated my writing. And I think back to, I remember I signed up for like a one-on-one jiu-jitsu session with one of my jiu-jitsu coaches. He's a purple belt. I like how he instructs. He's a great teacher. And I'm still a white belt. And he was mentioning to me that some moves you're just going to be really great at, that you're going to really like doing. And he said some moves in jiu-jitsu actually choose you. And I said, what do you mean? And he shows me this one jiu-jitsu position. He's like, look, man, like this position is like kind of whatever for me, but like I just happen to be really great at this. Like this position chose me. And that, I thought about that. Like, okay, I wonder which positions are just gonna kind of choose me. And with like being an author, I feel like it's one of those things. Like this has like chosen me. It chose me. I've been writing for 8.5 years. You know, coming up in like a couple months, it'll be 9 years since I've been writing in my journals and stuff. And I never really had any intention of publishing anything. But the Real Nigga Bible changed my life, bro, because it's like, wait a second, hold on. That was the first time I released like writing out into the world like that. And I remember I was talking to my former business partner and they're like, yeah, dude, like I remember reading your emails back in the day, back when I used to host the Morning Hustlers calls. And she was like, yeah, like your emails were so good and like your captions were always good. And then I think back into like the business that we were running, like I was always responsible for creating the messages that we would send out to people. I was always responsible for making introductions for people. I was always responsible for crafting up emails. That was just something that I did, but I didn't assign so much value to it because it was something that I was just naturally good at. It wasn't something that I had made sincere effort into becoming great at. And it was just something that was just easy for me. So I'm getting used to this, man. It's like it's so wild to me being 28 years old and just now at this point in my life realizing like wait a second, is the like this is my path, an author? This is my path in life? It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Would have never imagined that. Would have never guessed that. Would have never thought me, author. But like I thought of myself as author in terms of, all right, let me write a book so I can use it strategically for other things. But I never thought of it as like, author, this is what you're gonna like dedicate yourself to. And like this is what you're gonna really enjoy. And this is where you're gonna add a lot of value, is through your writing. It's so new to me. It's so fascinating. It's a new relationship. It's beautiful. And it's just like, whoa, I guess it makes sense. So I want to put more energy and effort into that. But also, man, like I do want a partner. I do want a companion on this journey with me because I'm a fucking giant, bro. I'm a fucking giant. I'm a fucking giant, dude. And it would benefit me tremendously to be with somebody who sees that in me, but also someone who I respect tremendously, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's big. Because that was something I had with my former business partner, is I really fucking respected, and I still respect how they are. I respect their mind. That's so important for me, bro. Beauty is cool. Yeah, it's fun to like look at somebody. And it's important. I do want a woman who is beautiful. And I want a woman who I respect mentally. And there's not a lot of people who I respect mentally. I don't respect most people mentally. And I don't have a choice in it. I don't have a choice where I'm like, oh, I respect you. It's like, no, it's like I listen to how someone thinks. They tell me who they are just through the words they use to describe certain things about their life and where their focus is. People are always telling you who it is that they are. You just have to like be quiet and pay attention. The thing where we mess up is we hear that and we get caught up in trying to make them what we want them to be, and we ignore it, right? We ignore the yellow flags, we ignore the fucking red flags. And then like we might blow something out of proportion in terms of like a positive quality. And I think, we're inclined to just want to settle because it's not that fun being lonely. It's not that great. Sometimes it's fucking phenomenal. I do enjoy being a loner. There are some positives to being a loner, and I do enjoy it a lot. But I remember I hopped on a call with a friend of mine a couple months ago, and this person has sold their business for a couple $1 million and, traveled for many years. And a great human being. I love this guy to death, man. Fucking awesome guy, man. Awesome guy. He's in his 40s now. And he was saying that when he was with his partner, before he got with his partner, he loved being single. But when he got with his partner, or when he met his partner, he's like, whoa, like, it's actually being better with you than it is being single. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to get to where I want to go eventually, being a single man. And at the same time, I think it would really benefit me to be with somebody who I can just collaborate with mentally, who I can talk to on the phone, who I can be next to, who I can be intimate with, who I can share my life with. And then we can also, like, just naturally through our conversations, it's about growth. We help each other out just naturally. There's no force to it. And that was something that I got from my partnership as well. My former business partner, was there was no force. There was nothing forceful about that relationship one bit ever. It wasn't forced. We naturally got along. We naturally helped each other grow. We didn't have to try to do that. It just was something that took place between our two energies, and our two energies were so powerful together that I lived in California and they lived in motherfucking Europe, bro. And we hadn't even, like, spoken a word to each other face to face, and, like, our energies were just so drawn to each other through a fucking Zoom camera, Zoom room across the fucking world, bro. Now think about how strong that energy is. So yeah, man, I would like that. I think that would really benefit me tremendously. And I guess I can think about them as well. Like, oh, I could benefit them as well. But, like, that's cool. But mostly, I want to be the best for me. When I'm at my best, I make such a difference. That person who has done several transcriptions for me, like, they were really stagnant in their life, admittingly to me. And from us having conversations together, has had, like, what seems on the surface to be an amazing opportunity that opened up for him because he did this work for me, and, like, he had this other idea that inspired him to do something else, and, like, it's put him in, like, a different position, and now he's, like, really feeling excited about his life. But, like, I didn't put no effort into that. I didn't, like, intentionally be like, I'm going to help him out, or I'm going to whatever it is. Like, nah, like, I've always just been looking out for just myself. And me being who it is I am, it's actually really cool to see, like, some people are actually really positively impacted by it. Really. I have another friend of mine who has lived a really, really difficult and challenging life. And we were talking a lot about spirituality, and they live on the other side of the world, and they happen to be living in the same kind of vicinity as another really spiritual friend of mine. And I was like, oh, like, I think you guys should meet. And they did. And from that relationship, so much beauty has come from it. Like, my friend's fucking life has changed because of that shit, bro. What a amazing positive ripple. And it's like, dude, I didn't try to do that. It just happened. And that's where I'm like looking to put a lot of my energy into, is just flow. I don't want to try to expend a bunch of effort into something. Like, I'm going to make this work, I'm going to make this happen. It's like, hey, what if we let go? What if we loosened up our grip? What if we stayed patient? And what if we just had fucking full trust and faith into the universe in terms of This is exactly where you are. And be okay with that. Breathe into it. There's a great song by Tame Impala called Let It Happen. Such a great song. Let it happen. Let it happen. So let it happen. And it goes back to letting life choose you, letting things choose you instead of you choosing it. Letting go, allowing life to just unravel the way that it was intended for you to go. You know, like I feel like I always try to keep control and be captain of the ship, but I'm like, I'm not the captain of the ship here, bro. Like, let me just tune into like the rhythm that the universe like has me on. And when I tune into that rhythm, there's a lot more fucking happiness that I experience in my life. There's a lot less stress that I experience in my life. But it's also scary because it's like, dude, this isn't my plan. As I mentioned, it wasn't my plan to fucking be an author like this or to go all in creatively like this. It wasn't my plan to be where I'm at working as a barback. I'm just tuning in. That's it. I just tune in. I listen. I feel like the universe whispers to me, and I just gotta listen to it. But it doesn't whisper to me in language. It whispers to me in feeling. So it's like often difficult for me to logically explain the counterintuitiveness of the actions that I'm taking, because it's like, dude, I don't understand them either. But I just feel like it's right. It sits right in my body. The power of letting go. It's a trip, bro. It's a trip. So yeah, I definitely would like a partner to build with. And then just to like do more things with, travel together, experience things with. I enjoy it. I enjoy it myself. And let me tell you something. Like, I feel good being who it is I am by myself. But dude, it would be a lot better to have a companion. It would be. And am I going to meet my partner at the bar? It's possible. You know, I don't want to rule it out. Is it likely? I don't know. But it seems like a lot of people go the route of online dating. And I like the idea in terms of like really being serious about like the dating, online dating. It just takes some time up front, which I just had this click in my brain in terms of like me writing my books. It just takes time up front. But then there's like tremendous like reward. But like that time up front is also like is meant to be like enjoyed. The process of figuring out. But I do like processes like that where it's like you put time up front, but once you have it, you're Gucci. Like, I put time up front into the Real Nigga Bible. You can get it for free at therealniggabible.com. And it's like now that's just running in the background. Now it's just like I don't have to put any effort The email gets sent out automatically, people download it instantly, and it's easy for them to be able to share it with other people. Like, I don't have to put any more effort and energy into the Real Nigga Bible except talk about it. But it's easy. It's done. It's done. Time up front spent, and now I get to reap the rewards from that. And I do think about myself as a father. You know, the other day, I got home from work and there was a picture on the refrigerator of my nephew. He's in school, he's 3 years old. And it was such a beautiful photo. It was so cute. And I looked at it, I was like, I love this guy. I fucking love this guy. I'm just not in a financial position right now. I'm just not in the position where it would make sense for me. Cause like if I have kids, dude, I want to be able to give my all to my kids. Because once I have kids, bro, it's no longer about me. It's no longer about my life. And that's why I was fearful about them. Because I'm like, bro, I'm gonna lose my fucking life. But at a certain point, I think I'll get to this point where I am so content with my life. And it's not necessarily about climbing more for me and building more. And I'll have more money than I can ever spend. And I'll have more opportunity than I can ever wish for. And right now, all I'm doing is solving for that. And once I do it, which is it's gonna happen, it might take a decade. But once I do it, I think it'll be time. I think I'll feel like, okay, I have the time freedom, I have the financial freedom. I think I feel comfortable bringing a child into this world where I can give my all to, where I can be able to give them a life, not just a life, an education that could really, that I would just feel really happy about giving them. Because that's what it is for me, man. Like, I had a child right now, bro, the education they're going to receive is going to be dog shit. They're going to go to a school right around the corner or around a bunch of people who ain't shit. I wouldn't be able to control the influences as much as I can that are going into their head. I would not be setting them up for success. So I want to set myself up for success first before I think about setting up other people for success. So anyway, those are some thoughts I'm having right now.